This scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
Yes. I'm afraid that I have another task that requires your assistance. The Adventurers After assessing the assignment, the Guild has concluded that seasoned adventurers are required.
Just another day on the job for us!
Allow me to explain. The Tenryou Commission recently issued an arrest warrant for a young
Noni? You mean those big, tough-looking guys with horns on their heads?
That's correct. This particular Oni is quite vocal and audacious. So it came as a surprise to learn that he has recently been accused, but it doesn't end there. When the Tenryou Commission dispatched a Doshin to apprehend him, he is—
So let Paimon guess. It's up to us to bring this Oni. No problemo! This does sound like a job for the Traveler.
I have complete confidence you will succeed. However, please exercise caution. This Oni also happens to hold a vision, and is the leader of an organization known as the—
On second thought, Paimon will leave the fighting to you.
We are still investigating Arataki Ito's potential motives behind these incidents, but please ask around in the streets as well. There will likely be others more familiar with— Thank you. I will await your return. Error.
Well, let's start asking around on the streets. Hopefully we'll learn a little more about this Arataki Ito guy and think—
Arataki Ito? Yeah, I've heard of the guy. Word is, he did something monumentally. And to be completely honest, I was a little surprised.
Wait, you mean he already had a bad reputation?
No, not exactly. So, on the one hand, he's a larger-than-life kind of guy. But on the other hand, he's emotionally volatile. I don't personally see him as a bad guy, but I guess I wouldn't put it past— I'm afraid that I'm not too sure myself. When someone asks for it, he's willing to lend a helping hand, but other than that, he's just out making a scene. If I had to guess, his lack of income finally drove him to do something.
Is it just Paimon, or is this Ito fella?
I'm afraid that I don't have much else to tell you. He tends to spend— Perhaps you could try asking around some more.
Okay, thanks.
Arataki Ito? Oh yeah. I heard about that whole thing.
Huh? How can you be so sure? Is he really as trustworthy?
No, perhaps you misunderstand me. When I said he could never do anything, maybe a story will explain it better. So, he used to spend a lot of time— Kids, being kids, aren't exactly the most difficult to outsmart.
On purpose, though, right?
No, not at all. The one time I saw him win, he started jumping around and yelling. Then he took the kid's candy as his prize and ate it right—
Ugh, that's just plain wrong.
He did take it way too far that time. The poor kid started crying. He was pretty quick to admit that he was fully in the wrong, and it wasn't long before the kid had stopped crying and in fact, the children quite like playing with him because he's always serious about the stake. So, I suppose what I'm trying to say is a guy who can't even beat kids at a children's game.
Huh. He doesn't sound like a bad guy at all.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. Still, the Tenryou Commission— So, I'm not trying to condone his actions or anything. If he really has—
Thanks for the info. We'll keep asking around.
Arataki Ito. Of course I know him. We know he's already left Inazuma City, but with no clues to follow, we have no choice but to commission others for help.
Catherine says that Arataki Ito hasn't done anything seriously bad before. Paimon's curious. Is there any evidence?
Yes, of course. Otherwise, we'd never have put so many people. For starters, most thieves will try to devise a way to conceal their identity. But for an Oni, the horns are a dead. At first, he was just one of our suspects. But when we went to investigate, he personally confessed to everything. And what's most frustrating is that he then managed to escape along with his entire gang. He must have been planning. Of course he did. Whether material or psychological, there is plenty of... He's never had a Mora to his name his entire life, and he's never kept down a real job. Word is that he also takes care of someone. After scrounging for a living all these years, maybe he thought that being the bad guy would... As for his psychological motives, it's a bit embarrassing to talk about, but we... At the time, Arataki Ito put up quite a fight. It took a huge amount of manpower and resources. The vision hunt was a mistake, but we never expected that he would go to such a...
He does sound a little unstable, just like people have been saying.
If the two of you are able to capture Arataki Ito, please bring him straight here. We'll...
Thanks for all the info.
Have we
Too bad we still don't know where he could have run. Paimon remembers that there's a detective agency here in Inazuma. Maybe we can try asking there. Hello, we'd like to ask some questions about our...
Oh, him again. Sure. I have answers. We've already done some investigating for the Tenryou Commission. I've heard all about your travels. After everything you've been through, I'm sure...
how much more are we talking about?
A one-off payment of 397,000 Mora, up front. Plus a further 5% of your Adventures Guild remuneration as my...
Whoa! That's crazy expensive! How did you even...
Hold on. I wasn't finished. It just so happens the initial fee has already been paid in full. And, as for that amount, I'll settle things with the Adventures Guild once we have Ito. Now then, to give you the full picture in this case, we must first... A long, long time ago, in a village lost to time, there lived a Crimson Oni and a Blue Oni. They were the best of friends. The Crimson Oni looked fierce, but was gentle like the humans. The Blue Oni looked human, but was reclusive, like an Oni. The Crimson Oni wished to befriend the humans, but they were scared and threw beans at him whenever he came near. So the Blue Oni said to the Crimson Oni,
Akka, I'll cause trouble in the village. You come and stop me. Then the humans will accept you.
As planned, the Crimson Oni chased the Blue Oni away. The Crimson Oni's deeds spread throughout the land, and people finally accepted him. But when the Crimson Oni went to tell the Blue Oni the good news, he was gone and left only a letter behind.
I went traveling. Don't come find me or they'll treat you as a naughty little Oni. But don't worry about me. No matter where I go, we'll always be friends.
That's it? What about the...
I suppose the Blue Oni simply disappeared, never to be seen again.
But the Blue Oni was just an...
Of course it does. Otherwise, I wouldn't go through all the trouble of telling it. One interpretation is that the story is actually What I'm trying to tell you is that the Oni have sacrificed a lot in the past in order to finally integrate themselves into human society. Every generation of Oni inherits these traits. So while Arataki Ito has never been known to commit a wrongful act in the past,
But how could he do that? After after the Blue Oni's sacrifice?
That's a very old story. Nobody knows how long it's been since the Blue Oni disappeared. We can only assume. Besides, the suspect has already confessed. According to my investigation, he was headed southwest. I would bet he's already made it to Yashiori Island. The Tenryo Commission is unable to enter territory controlled by Sangonomiya troops. No doubt that's the reason Arataki Ito chose to flee in that direction. Don't mention it.
Wait! Paimon still has a question. If Arataki Ito has given into his bad side...
I could only assume so. Judging from his previous bouts, he is a skilled fighter with a lot of brute strength.
Okay, but what's up with people throwing beans at Oni? What?
Ah, yes. Now that you mention it, I seem to recall. In fact, all Oni will avoid beans, but especially Ito. I heard that just if you could weaken him a bit by triggering his allergies, perhaps you'd have better luck subduing him.
Right! Knowing our target's weakness will make things a whole lot easier.
It just so happens that I have a bag of beans right here. I was planning to use them to make some porridge. Of course, I will charge the Adventurers Guild a fair and reasonable rate for the beans.
Sneaky! But also, let's head to Yashiori Island and start looking for Ito!